Welcome back to Waterpark Rangers. Let's play Paper Mario and the Thousand-Year Door. In the last episode, we started the post-game and went into the Pit of 100 Trials, and showed us some very brief segments of the first 50 floors, just the special items you can get out of them. Not too much else, because there really wasn't too much else to see. Now we're in floors 50 through 60. The enemies get a little bit more challenging here. We have Badge Bandits and Ice Puffs. These are enemies that, the Badge Bandits can actually steal badges off you, which is really bad, so don't want to give them a chance to do that. And Ice Puffs, as you know, appeared in Chapter 7, so they're kind of late-game foes. Pretty irritating. Anyway, the Badge Bandit only ended up stealing some coins, but I'd rather have them than not have those coins, so... What I'm going to do first is, because we have full star power, I'm going to use a Sweet Treat. And it's going to heal us up, get our HP and FP back to where it should be. Oh, or I could be absolutely horrid and get a green mushroom. I'm trying to show how strategic I can be, but I'm only getting the green mushrooms, man. This is not how I wanted it to go. This is being the worst Sweet Treat of all time. Could have been worse, I suppose, but still. So that's the basic idea, is that whenever you have full star power and you have a chance to heal with Sweet Treat, take it, man. It's irritating and it's repetitive, but ultimately it's the survival strategy that will get you through the pit. There we go. Very nice. Onwards! Oh, we actually ran into a mover. Let's see what floor this is. 54, I skipped ahead a couple. Just pointless battles that we had to do to move to the next floor. So, because it's 54, we can go down 5 levels without a problem, because that'll just take us to floor 59, and then we'll have the last battle on floor 59. After we beat that battle, it'll be time for us to go to floor 60 and get the item, so we won't have missed the item. Unfortunately, we landed right in the vicinity of a red chomp, kind of irritating enemy. These are from back in the Glitz Pit, so I guess it isn't exactly right to say that you fight enemies from specific chapters. They're just kind of weird combinations, I suppose. Oh, 5 was enough to defeat it. I guess it must have 6 or 7 HP. So, what shall we do? Trogdor. Ah, yes, because he will go through this enemy's defense and hit the enemy behind it. Very nice. Now, we also have a chance to finish off this Ice Puff. Unfortunately, this Ice Puff is going to be able to... Oh, he's just charged up. Well then, we should still be able to hit him, I'm assuming. Oh, well, actually, even then, it might not be enough for Vivian. But perhaps Bobbery's explosion will be able to hit him without Bobbery actually, like, making physical contact with the enemy. That's my hope. That's why I'm using Bobbery instead. Ice Puffs are just kind of irritating even now. Just slightly. Only as bothersome as a little fly. Oh, man. Mario got a lot of HP. Healed up fully. That's looking good. Aw, they were going to give us an item. Darn it. He just attacked because it was a boo. Bobbery's just prejudiced against boos. He's from a different time. And I ended up defending for whatever reason. Oh, Mario got lucky, and Bobbery was frozen. Oh well. Well, this gives us a chance to finish off the Puff without a problem. He won't be bothering us anymore. And with all that stylish, we've... Oh, I thought I'd get more star power. Oh well. And Bobbery has so much HP that taking a hit like that doesn't matter to him at all. It would have to happen 7 more times to kill him. Anyway, what's the treasure on floor 60? It is Double Dip. During battle, you can use 2 items in 1 turn. Very useful. So the whole deal about the Pit of 100 Trials, though, is that, like, it's so irritating to go through it and fight all those, like, annoying, repetitive battles, that although the items you get in it are very useful during the main story, it's just obnoxious to have to fight all these enemies in order to obtain them. So this is a new enemy. It doesn't look new, but it's the Dark Lakitu. We're now between the 60 and 70 floors. The 61, 62, up through 68 and 69. And a Dark Wizard from the Palace of Shadow. So now we're fighting enemies that appeared in the last chapter. So they're kind of posing more of a threat now. But since we beat the Shadow Queen, enemies of this level of strength shouldn't be all that much of a big deal. What you don't want, of course, is to give that enemy a chance to use its Spinies. I think they're Dark Spinies. So just go ahead and kill it. It's really not that powerful. But it can be annoying. Just don't want to let them live. So let's see what could be waiting for us on the next couple floors. Oh, another Dark Wizard. But there might be more than meets the eye, of course. You only see one on the battlefield, but in battle, 3 of them. Alright, 3 Dark Wizards. I'm pretty sure we fought 3 Dark Wizards before, but they could cause trouble. What I'm gonna do... what I'm gonna do, as if I knew what I was gonna do. No, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna watch my past self find out what he's gonna do. Shell Slam would have gone through their defense, though. That's the thing. I guess I was being cheap by using a Power Slam. Or just a normal Power Shell. But at least with Power Smash, we can finish this one off. Then it's just a matter of defeating the other 2. And I'm pretty sure that only when 1 is left will they try that multiplying trick. So instead, they're gonna be using some attacks. Oh, dodgy. He's turning dodgy. And that one ended up using a laser. So I guess you're getting to see some of their moves, which is a good thing. Let's see if we can land a hit on him with a, Nah, he's dodgy, so chances are we're not going to be able to hit him very easily. It's just going to be luck of the draw. We might as well let him multiply and then try, like, the Power Shell on the Survivor. That's my best bet, honestly. Now it's just 1, so he should be multiplying. Yep. He wasted his turn to multiply himself. And now this means that if we go for a multi-hitting strike, we probably have just about the same chance of hitting him as we usually do. That's my hope. But because we also have full star power, it's a good chance to use yet another sweet treat. See how even though, like, it doesn't seem like I need to heal that badly, I'm doing it anyway? It's so we don't run into trouble further on down the road. You have to be strategic that way. And you're going to be seeing me use Sweet Treat plenty other times just to show you how important it is that you keep up your most basic HP and FP stats. Don't waste your items early on because you will need them. Or rather, it's very good to have them later on. There we go, we got lucky and ended up being able to hit him. Also, we got, for the first time ever, the bad bingo. Look how much damage that did. Took away all that HP and all that FP. And if we hadn't used that Sweet Treat, we'd be in even more of a problem than we were at that moment. So I guess it's important that you saw that. A bad bingo. Of course it would happen in episode 77. 7's supposed to be a lucky number. Oh well. So now you know what a bad bingo does. And it is bad. And of course you can strategically avoid a bad bingo by, like, trying to press the roulette button, like, when you don't think the last green mushroom's gonna strike. But that's easier said than done. I bet you I was trying to avoid it there, and I just ended up with it anyway. So it was very important that you witnessed that battle, even though Dark Wizards aren't that challenging, because now you know what a bad bingo can do for you. All it takes is bad luck. Bad luck to ruin your entire run. Of course, you can always, you know, try to use as much skill as possible. I was trying to be skillful with that last roulette selection, but I missed it. I was off by a little bit. Oh yeah, these guys come back. We fought one of these a long time ago in Chapter 3. Only one, though. In a match, I think, called Crawdaddy in the Glitz Pit. And these guys have a lot of HP and pretty high offense. See, 20 per each one. A Dark Craw, I think is what they're called. And, or Dark Robo, something like that. What I'm actually going to do is bust out Art Attack on them. Might seem like an odd choice, but I happen to have a lot of star power, so I'm going to use it. Art Attack is very useful for the enemies that you encounter further down in the pit, and I suppose these are the first ones that I would really, like, recommend using Art Attack on. Sometimes I've actually found that Earth Tremor is a pretty good choice for some of the earlier floors, because, like, when enemies start using more defense, but you don't want to use that much star power to hurt them, Earth Tremor is a good one because it doesn't take that much star power, and it hits all enemies, like, regardless of defense, most of the time. Spiny seems to be the exception to the rule. Oddly, these guys, for how powerful they are, only give you 1 star point for each one you defeat. So that just shows how far we've come. Also, I figure I should mention this now. You cannot, to my, like, knowledge, I've had such bad luck using Showstopper against enemies in the Pit of 100 Trials. It just seems to not work so often, and it's like, you're better off using Earth Tremor to hurt them than to try and use Showstopper to get through the battles without having, like, to do legitimate damage to enemies. That might work for you in the Palace of Shadow and every other enemy in the game, and, like, every other area, but in the Pit of 100 Trials, it just doesn't work. That's just been my experience. Who knows? Maybe you might get lucky and it'll actually work. Speaking of lucky, I just dodged that spear. That was really good. I have another chance to sweet treat, so I'm going to take it. Whenever I've got the chance, I'm probably going to take it. Also, I've never understood the point of those random, like, iron things hanging on the wall in the background. It reminds me of this old book I used to read when I was a really little kid. It was like, one of those, kind of like a Where's Waldo book. It was called Puzzle Dungeon, about some dumbass who gets stuck in a maze, and so his girlfriend has to help get him out. But it was a pretty good story, at least because everything in it was pretty entertaining for me when I was a little kid. And to an extent, some of the dungeons, like Hooktail Castle, and a little bit Palace of Shadow and the Pit of 100 Trials, they remind me of that old book, Puzzle Dungeon. It wasn't like a legitimate story, it was just like a Where's Waldo style book. You had to solve the puzzle on each page. Oh, and we have another mover. I've actually been getting more movers than I normally do. But unfortunately, because it's floor 68, he may move us too quickly. Oh, actually, if we chose the 2 levels, he'd take us straight to floor 70, so that's exactly what we want. If we chose 5 levels, he would have taken us too far, and we would have missed the treasure on floor 70, so it was far better that we chose only 2 levels. Now, what is the treasure on floor 70? Ah, double dip P. Now, also, our allies could be using 2 items in 1 turn, so if you wanted, what you could do is equip double dip and double dip P, and you could be using 4 items in 1 turn. Now, imagine using, like, 4 Thunder Rages in 1 turn. The damage you could do, plus the fact that you could get the Strange Sack earlier, that gives you 20 items, that would just make you overpowered. You could just, like, farm for Thunder Rages, and fill up on, like, 20 of them, and just cheese like the Shadow Queen. I wonder if you could actually do that. I wonder if that would actually be an advisable strategy. So now we've got wizards. They're not actually, they're just called wizards. They might actually be a little bit stronger than dark wizards. But the weird thing is, because dark wizards appear in the Palace of Shadow, wizards actually appear nowhere else in the game but here in the Pit of 100 Trials. Very strange. Normally you find like the dark palette swap of enemies later, but you actually find the normal wizards a little later in this case. Very bizarre. I almost feel like that was a mistake on the programmer's part. It's just kind of awkward. I think these wizards actually might have higher offense. Now, this is also the main reason why I equipped the Spike Shield badge for this dungeon, the Pit of 100 Trials, is for these, the Dark Koopa Trolls. With Dark Koopa Trolls, what you can do is flip them with Mario's Jump, and then heal continually with Sweet Treat, while the Dark Koopa Troll is unable to do anything while he just flails around on the floor. That's your chance to heal up, and appeal to the audience to get more star power to heal up with Sweet Treat. So by doing this, you preserve your HP, your FP, and your star power, and if you continually use this strategy whenever you encounter a Dark Koopa Troll, in these like floors 70 through 80 area, you will be able to be fully healed. You'll have everything. You'll be fully healed. It will be as if you just entered the Pit of 100 Trials. You'll be fresh and ready for floors 80 through 100. And, like, not being worn down at all by the time you get to those floors is immensely useful. Not to mention, you do get more star points in this section of the Pit of 100 Trials. You start getting some more reasonable amounts of star points. It's still a little bit small, a little bit stingy, but it'll do. So what other enemies do we encounter in floors 70 through 80? Well, Chain Chomps. Chain Chomps. Some harder Palace of Shadow enemies. Very obnoxious. So what I'm going to do for them is, because it's so easy to heal up in floors 70 through 80, I'm actually going to bust out Supernova and just trash them with it. Because I could use Art Attack, but I'm going to be using Art Attack a little bit more often further down the road, because it just takes less FP. I mean, less star power, and I rarely get to use Supernova, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. Rest assured, Supernova works at its full power here in the pit. The only move that really seems to not work that well is in the pit is Showstopper. There you go. See, it takes 6 nodules, so it's really risky. However, it was actually the perfect opportunity to use, because when we beat them, we leveled up, and so we're going to get back all of our star power just like that. It's very good. You can just time and plan out when you're going to use your big star power moves. That way, everything's fine. Also, look at all this money we've got. What number floor is this? 75? Alright. We'll probably just have a couple more battles, but if there's not anything interesting going on in them, I'm just going to skip ahead. cut out those other floors. But let's see. Power plus P. We had enough to equip yet another point of offense for our partners. Very useful. So what have we got here on floor 80? See, the Pit of 100 Trials is starting to look a little darker now. It's going to get harder from here on out. Bump attack. Beat weak foes to defeat them without battling. That does not work in the Pit of 100 Trials. There's a sign that cautions you outside that you can't use first attack or bump attack badges. I'm pretty sure you can't use either of those. But bump attack is very useful for when you're walking around like the overworld and you see like a normal enemy. If you're wearing bump attack, you just walk into them and they'll be defeated like on screen. So very good to have if you want to do further exploring for any reason.